Hello guys, this is Reggie, the appliance repair nerd, in the shop with another dryer repair. Just as I fix these things, I like to share them with you guys. I also notice a lot of do-it-yourselfers out there, or just appliance technicians just getting started, or even veterans. It's good for us to learn off each other. And sometimes, it's the old saying, none of us knows as much as all of us. So just sharing my knowledge. So anyway, I've got a Maytag Bravo. This is a gas dryer. But the problem is pretty universal. You hit start and it does nothing. Nothing moves at all. So initially I'm thinking the high limit fuse might have popped from a clogged air duct. But as I opened it up, I found a surprise and I just wanted to film before I tear too much into it. So to take these off, there's a clip here and a clip here. So you have to remove that clip. Top goes back. First thing I do is see the belt flimsy, and so you see the belt's disconnected. So first I'm thinking, oh, this is a easy layup. I probably just got to reconnect the belt, because sometimes they do fall off or off track, and you just reconnect and you're good to go. But as I open up the door, so you're gonna have a screw here and a screw here that you have to take off. The door comes right off, and look at that at the bottom. That is the belt pulley wheel. Look like it worn out. Let's get it. Oh, look at that. That thing is just ate up. So that's very common. What basically happens is whatever grease they use at the factory kind of wears out over time because of all the heat, and then you have metal on metal scraping, and you gotta replace this. And this is with the belt tensioner pulley. So I'm gonna tear her apart and let you guys know what else I find. So our next step is to take this piece off. So that requires this screw down there, screw here, and a screw down there. So I'm gonna pause the video and tear into her. Also, you have screws here. I just took off here and here. So you're gonna need a 5/16 nut driver to take those screws off. Okay, so we got the drum out. Please excuse the background noise. I work out of my garage and fix them up, put the new machines in storage and sell them online. So push about 40 to 50 units a month doing that. So the negative side about it is when you're trying to film, sometimes we get the garbage guy coming by. So anyway, I took the drum out. First things you want to inspect is your belt. Belt looks pretty good actually. And with the Maytag Bravos, you have two belts, and this turns the actual blower, which is underneath here. So this actually looks pretty good too. And this is where that pulley wheel is supposed to go. So what we're going to do is sand that down, because it actually looks pretty good. As long as it's nice and round, it's fine. You can reuse it. If it's kind of squared off, then you want to replace it. But I'm just going to sand it down and put some new lubricant on it. And while you're at it, what you need to do is check your belt pulleys. See these? This is what your belt belt pulleys. Your drum rollers. As long as they spin nice and smooth, they're fine. I'm gonna hit all this with a shop vac. You have pulleys here. These are actually pretty good shape. Typically, at least one of them are bad. They roll pretty nice and smooth. But while you have it apart, it's not no big deal to take them off and re-lubricate them too. You might as well while you have them apart, especially if you're not doing this for a living. You only want to do this one time. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and refurbish it, recondition it, and I'm gonna pause the video and give you an after taping. Oops, I almost forgot. I like to pause it so I keep the video short as I can. To take this housing off, we're gonna, again, your 5/16 nut driver. We're gonna take these screws off, and after we uncover some things, we're gonna take these off. There's two brackets, and they'll pull right off. So I'll show you in the video. Stay tuned. All right, so it's quite a few screws to remove. You're gonna need your 5/16 nut driver and your 1/4 inch nut driver. So I'm taking all the screws off the housing. Same one, see, flipped it over. And you're gonna remove this. Remember to order everything goes back in. If you don't, you think you may forget, feel free to take a picture or look back at this video, I guess. So you don't put nothing back together wrong. And this one actually is pretty clean, but I've seen these things filled with lint, which is a complete fire hazard. So that's why I got this one apart. Still gonna vacuum out, clean it out a little bit. But yeah, you should always check your, especially when at home, because if you got it apart, you might as well do a little extra work anyway to save you some time or from having to take it apart again. And this can make the difference between you having to service your dryer again or just throwing your hands in the air and buying another one because something else went wrong. So yeah, so I'm just gonna vacuum that out, clean this out, pull another pulley wheel on. So stay tuned. Alright, so I got it nice and sanded down, nice and shiny, ready to go, ready for my grease application. And the grease I prefer to use is this multi-purpose marine grease. It's water resistant and it's good for bearing use. The reason why, now we talk about a dryer, why you need a dryer to be water resistant, because what happens is, this what tears apart heating elements and puts a lot of wear and tear on dryers is clogged exhaust ducts. So if you have a clogged exhaust duct pinching against the wall or whatever may cause the duct to have restrictions with the moist air can't blow out, it goes back into the dryer. And so it creates a high humidity environment inside the dryer, which usually tears apart your motor, tears apart and tears your heating element out. So I like to use this marine grease. You can use, I wouldn't say any grease, but use a grease that is good for bearing use. Because typically bearings is metal on metal grinding. But I bought this particular grease at AutoZone. So you're gonna dab it on your screwdriver, get it on really good. Around there. Sorry, I'm a one-hand bandit here. It's very, as I say in all my videos, it's very amateur, but the information is high quality. So we're gonna put it inside the bearing too. In there real good. And just kind of work it in. And you want to twist it nice and slow so that grease just gets in there really, really good. Go back and forth. And what I like to do is I like to take it off and do it over again. That back in there. So if you grease on your fingers, you want to wipe it off because you don't want to get it on the bearing, on the where the belt contacts the wheel itself. All over again. Real good. Alright. And this will keeps it on there. And that can be kind of tricky because you want to take those off without breaking them. So I'm going to show you real quick how to take off the little plastic triangles. I'm sure there's a tech name for it. I don't know what it is, but I call them plastic triangles. Again, excuse the camera work. So basically what I do is I'll pull up on it and I'll stick my screwdriver right between where my fingers are. Can't do it right now, so I have to hold the camera too. But squeeze it up and stick your screwdriver in there and it'll pop right out. Or sometimes, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do it with one hand. But yeah, just squeeze this part, it raises up, and then use your other hand with the screwdriver to pop that out, and it'll come right out. But be very gentle with it because you'll break those in half. And not sure, I'm sure you can find them on eBay maybe by themselves, but typically they're gonna make you buy the whole part, not just the plastic triangle. So just be super careful. Try not to, be Hercules when it comes to taking the stuff apart, because you don't want to break anything. All right, so we got the bearing back on. We're gonna put this back together, and that's how you service a Maytag Bravos dryer. This particular one is gas, so that's all your gas features. I'm gonna put it back together, plug it in, clean up a little bit more, and fire up again. If you had a electric gas dryer, instead of this setup here, it will be an electric element sticking out right there. in which the fuse is pretty much the same. This is your temperature regulator. It turns on and off the flame. This is your high limit fuse, in which if things get too hot and overheat to prevent a fire, this triggers and turns off all heating elements. And then you have your igniter here for gas only, obviously, and that ignites the gas. And then you have your valves and stuff inside here. Again, any questions, feel free to message me. And so I'm gonna put it back together and we're gonna fire it up. Stay tuned. All right, guys, got it all put back together, and this I kind of put together as least as I can to test it in case I have to tear it back apart. So that's why the front panel is still off, but it's still connected and will turn on because that door, as long as the door is shut, it's kind of rigged to turn on. So let's see. We got a PF power fader because I turned it off in the middle while I was on. And let's go. There it is. Got a new pulley wheel, nice and quiet. The air sound is just the blower sucking in air. And it's ready to go. So thank you guys for hanging out with me on this repair. If you have any questions, feel free to message me below, and I usually respond as soon as I see it, which is usually within 24 hours. And again, this is Reggie, the washer dryer repair nerd, coming at you with another video. Please like, subscribe, and also I'll put a link on for that pulley tensioner and wheel, in case this is the same issue you have with your dryer. Thanks again. See you in the next video.